So good day everyone. We are here to report about the climate change and energy crisis in the Science Technology Society. We are from BN2A. I am Gerald Muli together with
Muriel Anna Cruzan,
Irish May Adriano,
Ariel Joy Baliyot,
Bernie Castillo, David Manuel,
Micaela Mangspa,
Althea.
So if you are ready, and we will start our recording. So let's start.
Objectives. The students will identify the difference between climate change and energy crisis. The students will know what is the cause and effect of climate change and energy crisis. The students are able to take action in this alarming climate change and energy crisis.
What is climate change? Climate change refers to the change in global or regional patterns. It is a catch-all term, shift in worldwide weather phenomena associated with an increase in global average temperature. Climate change, also called global warming, refers to the rise in the average surface temperature on Earth. The statement delves into the concept of climate change, highlighting its broad scope involving global or regional weather patterns. It underlines the significant role of the increase in global average temperature and growth connection to human activities. The term global warming is mentioned as a synonym of climate change. Next is NASA. NASA defines climate change as a broad range of global phenomena created predom- predom- predominantly by burning fossil fuels, which add fuel-trapping gases to Earth's atmosphere. NASA's perspective is introduced defining climate change as a result of burning fossil fuels, which contribute to the accumulation of heat-trapping gases in the Earth's atmosphere. This prompts a discussion on the human impact on the environment and the importance of addressing such issues for sustainable global well-being.
Causes of climate change. In the Philippines, more than half of greenhouse gas emissions come from the energy sector, followed by agriculture, industrial processes, waste, and land use change and forestry. There are many causes of climate change, but this is the important cause of climate change, the human activity. The human activity is the main cause of climate change. People burn fossil fuels and convert land from forests to agriculture. Since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, people have burned more and more fossil fuels and changed vast areas of land from forest to farmland. Burning fossil fuels produces carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas. It is called a greenhouse gas because it produces the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect makes the earth warmer, just as the greenhouse is warmer than its surroundings. Carbon dioxide is the main cause of human-induced climate change. It stays in the atmosphere for a very long time. Other greenhouse gases, such as nitrous oxide, stay in the atmosphere for a long time. Other substances only produce short-term effects. Not all substances produce warming. Some, like certain aerosols, can produce cooling.
So before we proceed on our next topic about climate change, let's first talk about why this picture being involved in this slide. So first, it is not only talk when climate change is not only talking about inland, but also it's talk about in sea, rivers, and in other source of water. So how can we prevent climate change in water? So first, did you observe the Pasig River, right? There's a lot of trash there. As you can see, there's a lot of plastic bottle, plastic cups, and other candy wrappers or any other plastic materials there. But by means of having respect in our society, in our community, we can prevent that by easily putting our trash in our pocket, in our bag, in our eco bag, or having a self trash bag in our pocket, in our pack bag. We can prevent this. So as you can see the fisherman there, he is having a trouble when he is catching fish. So why he is having a trouble? Because in climate change in water, they having trouble by means of because their net is only thick. So when their net is thick, they can easily damage by catching fish. So those fish can easily
One.
so the fisherman, those fish would easily escape with those fisher nets, right? So now, after discussing the causes of climate change, let's now move on to the primary causes of climate change. So first, let's talk about inhuman causes. In human causes, there are three causes of humans in climate change. So first, in global carbon emissions, deforestation in agriculture. At year 2016 in the Philippines, 54% of GHG emissions came from the energy sector, followed by agriculture, industrial process, waste and land use, change and forestry sectors, which contributed 33% or 8%, 7%, and 1% respectively to GHG emission. So, in deforestation, we all know that it can affect climate change. So first, when we are cutting some trees, it will cause floods, landslides, and any other natural it's like an earthquake, right? And then the next one is agriculture. In agriculture, climate change and it can affect climate change. So in water shortage, we are experiencing this right now. So and then the next one is natural resources. We have here an example in volcanic activities. On 12th day of January at year 2020, the volcano in the Philippines erupted spewing ash up to 15 kilometers in the sky. Philippines warns of 2020. The Philippines Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PhilVox, raised the alert level 4. Level 4 is the hazardous eruption imminent warning of the possibility of alert level 5, or hazardous eruption in progress. So these are some pictures by Jorin. So these are pictures of Jorin. So as you can see, or as you can observe, it affects a lot, especially the lake besides the Taal volcano. And this was the after of the Taal volcano eruption. As you can see, there's a lot of damages, especially those animals. And as you can see, the lake here and the population besides the Taal volcano are very affected, especially those vegetables or those water resources that have any other parts. So with that, let's now talk about climate change effects.
Climate change effects. The first one is coral loss. Coral loss. The algae that resides in tissues of corals are expelled when the water becomes too warm, turning the coral entirely white. Coral bleaching is the term for this. A coral is not dead when it bleaches. Although they are more stressed and more likely to die, corals can survive a bleaching episode. The next one is declining rice yield. In declining rice yield, elevated temperatures cause heat stress to crops and modify the dynamics of pests and diseases, hence adversely affecting rice yield. Furthermore, high nighttime temperatures can have a substantial impact on the physiology of plants, leading to changes in metabolic processes, higher rates of respiration, and decreased growth and yield. More intense droughts. Warmer weather increases evaporation, which dries up soils and vegetation and decreases surface water. Because of this, times with less precipitation are drier than they would be in colder weather. Water availability is likewise changing due to climate change. Higher sea level rise. When sea level rise, as quickly as they have, even a slight rise in sea level, can have catastrophic repercussions on coastal habitats located further inland. These effects include severe erosion, flooding of wetlands, contamination of aquifers, and agricultural soil with salt, and loss of habitat for fish, birds, and plants. And the last one, water scarcity. Water scarcity. Climate change is making water scarcity and water-related risks, such as drought and flooding. Worse because it is changing precipitation patterns and the water cycle as a whole. Climate change and water are closely related. The effects of climate change on water around the world are complex. Republic Act 10174 amends RA 9729 Climate Change Act to establish the People's Survival Fund and a long-term finance stream to enable the government to effectively address climate change. It creates the nine-member People's Survival Fund Board task to oversee policy and strategy on how the funds will be used. Republic Act 10174 amends RA 9729 Climate Change Act. One of the most important tools the government has to address the problems caused by climate change is the People's Survival Fund. Its emphasis on strategy and policy guarantees that the monies are used to address the effects of climate change on the environment and community in a way that is both sustainable and effective.
Now let's find out what energy crisis is. The energy crisis is the concern that the world's demand of the limited natural resources that are used to power industry and society are diminishing as the demand rises. These natural resources are in limited supply. While they do occur naturally, it can take hundreds of thousands of years to replenish the stores. Governments and concerned individuals are working to make the use of renewable resources a priority and to lessen the irresponsible use of natural supplies through increased conservation. The energy crisis is the concern that the world's increasing energy demand is surpassing the limited availability of natural resources used for power. Fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas are finite and take hundreds of thousands of years to replenish. To address this crisis, governments and individuals are prioritizing renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydroelectric power. Conservation efforts and energy efficient technologies are also being promoted to reduce the overall demand for resources and ensure their availability for future generations. Sustainable and responsible energy practices are necessary to meet global energy needs without depleting the Earth's limited resources.
So let's move on to the causes of energy crisis. We have here the growing energy demand. As populations and economies grow, the demand for energy increases. If the energy supply does not keep up with this growing demand, it can lead to an energy crisis. So growing energy demand is one of the causes of energy crisis in many countries. Here's the one example how we contribute to energy crisis. We have here the population growth. As the population of country increases, the overall energy demand also rises. More people require energy for daily needs such as heating, cooling, transportation, and electricity. This increasing demand can strain the energy supplies and potentially lead to shortage. We have also the economic development. Economic growth and industrialization drives higher energy consumption. As countries develop and industries expand, the demand for energy-intensive activities like manufacturing, constructions, and transformation increases. If the energy supply does not keep pace with the demand, it can result in energy crisis. Addressing the energy crisis caused by growing energy demand require contribute of strategies. This may include investing in renewable energy resources, promoting energy efficient and conservation measures, implementing demand-side managed program, and adapting sustainable urban planning practices. So we have the overconsumption. The energy crisis is a result of many different strains on our natural resources. Not just one, there is a strain on fossil fuels such as oil, gas, and coal due to overconsumption, which then in turn can put strain on your water and oxygen resources by causing pollution. Countries facing energy crisis due to overconsumption can experience various challenges. Some countries is the United States. The United States is a significant consumer of energy, and its higher energy consumption level contribute to energy challenges. The country's reliance on fossil fuels and efficient energy used to the building, transformation, and the demand for energy. Intensive industries' contribution to overconsumption and strain on the energy supplies. Addressing the energy crisis caused by overconsumption requires combination of strategies. This may include promoting energy efficiency and conservation measures, transitioning to renewable energy prices, implementing demand-side management program, and raising awareness about sustainable consumption patterns.
So now let's move on to the third cause of energy crisis. So we have here the wastage energy. In most parts of the world, people do not realize the importance of conserving energy. It is only limited to books, internet, newspaper, ads, lip surveys, and seminars. Unless we give it a serious thought, things are not going to change anytime sooner. So wastage of energy is a significant issue that often goes unnoticed in many parts of the world. The importance of conserving energy is often emphasized through educational resources such as books, the internet, newspaper ads, and seminars. However, despite those efforts, the awareness doesn't always translate into action. Without serious consideration and proactive measures, the situation is unlikely to improve in the near future. So next is major accident and natural calamities. Major accidents like pipeline bursts and natural calamities like eruption of volcanoes, floods, earthquakes can also cause interruptions to energy supplies. The huge gap between supply and demand of energy can raise the price of essential items, which can give rise to inflation. So there are several factors contributing to the wastage of energy. So example is the major accident and natural calamities. Events like pipeline bursts, volcanic eruptions, floods, and earthquakes can lead to major disruption in energy supplies. So this incident not only pose immediate risk but also create a significant gap between the supply and demand of energy. The resulting imbalance can lead to increased prices for essential items contributing to inflation. So next is poor distribution system. Frequent tripping and breakdown are a result of a poor distribution system. A poorly designed and maintained distribution system is a key factor in energy wastage. Frequent tripping and breakdowns in the distribution network can result in energy losses. This inefficiency not only affects the reliability of energy supply, but also contributes to unnecessary energy wastage. So addressing these issues requires a collective effort to raise awareness and implement measures that enhance energy conservation. Improved distribution systems can minimize the impact of accidents and natural disasters on energy supplies. Only with a thoughtful and concerted approach can we effectively tackle challenges associated with energy wastage.
So let's now talk about the Republic Act that includes the Electric Power Crisis Act, and that is the Republic Act of 7648, was promulgated in the year 1993 to allow the President of the Philippines to enter into negotiated contracts for construction, repair, rehabilitation, improvement or maintenance of power plants, projects, and other facilities. So we all know that Philippines is under developing countries here in Asia. So as a Filipino citizen, we have here in the Bataan, right, the nuclear power plant. But since then, the nuclear power plant has stopped. Why? Because the nuclear power plant has a different impact, especially in the society, in the citizens of Bataan. It has a different impacts, right? So this Republic Act contains the president has rights to have a construction and the repair rehabilitation for improvements. So we just like last year, we experienced a lot of power shortage, right? Just like the journalist said, Rafael Lutina, speaking with the Economic Journalists Association of the Philippines, admitted that the country's power supply situation in 2023 is likely to be difficult. He said in 2023, the situation is a bit difficult, especially in the summer months. And with that, in the Republic Act 7648, let's now move on into the next topic.
So let's move on to the possible solution for energy crisis. The ideal solution on the medium to long-term basis in the Philippines is the expansion of renewable energy, especially solar, wind, and possibly geothermal. In this way, our country may yet become self-sufficient in sources of energy, at the same time greenhouse gas emission to a basically negligible level. So the statement suggests that Philippines should focus on renewable energy sources, particularly solar, wind, and geothermal, in the medium to long term. This would lead to energy sufficient and reducing dependence on the foreign energy sources. Additionally, renewable energy sources don't emit harmful greenhouse gases, contributing to fight against climate change. However, this transition requires substantial investment, strategic planning, and infrastructure development. Despite these challenges in the Philippines, with its abundant renewable resources, is well positioned to make this shift towards a more sustainable energy future. Please. The Philippines aim to import its first ever shipment of liquefied natural gas (LNG) this year, as proposal to expand the country's LNG infrastructure grow at unprecedented rate. However, the country is entering the global LNG market at a time of extreme uncertainty. Global LNG supply is constrained due to partly to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and LNG prices continue to hit record highs. Inability to buy LNG at competitive rates could leave new terminals and LNG-fired power plants unused and stranded. So LNG is short for liquefied natural gas. It's like the super cool version of natural gas. It's natural gas that has been chilled to an extremely low temperature, transforming it into a liquid state. This cooling process makes LNG much easier to transport and store, as it takes up much less space than its gases for. So the Philippines aims to import first ever shipment of liquefied natural gas. So that this decision is driven by the need to enhance energy security, meet growing energy demand, and address environmental concerns, and capitalize on favorable global LNG market trends. The country's proposal to expand its LNG infrastructure are growing rapidly, reflecting its commitment to diversifying the energy mix and seizing economic opportunities. By importing LNG, the Philippines can ensure a stable and reliable energy supply while reducing greenhouse gas emissions and stimulating economic growth. However, the Philippines is venturing into the global LNG market during a period of significant uncertainty. There are a couple of factors contributing to this uncertainty. global LNG supply constraints, and record high LNG prices. So, global LNG supply constraints, the supply of LNG worldwide is currently limited, and this is partly due to the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Record high LNG prices as a result of the supply constraints and the other market dynamics. LNG prices have been soaring and reaching record highs. This means that the cost of purchasing LNG has become increasingly expensive.